Hey, it's Melanie Deppens, founder of Breaker 28, and I am coming to you on International Book Lovers Day. Those of you who know me personally know how many books I have in my house. It's a problem. And so I am super delighted to talk to you about a few books that have really helped me professionally. So I want to start you with Marcus Buckingham's Now Discover Your Strengths. And this book is tied to an assessment by the Gallup organization called StrengthsFinder. So whether you read the book or not, you definitely want to take the StrengthsFinder assessment. Google it, totally worth it. So Marcus Buckingham's premise is that too often we focus on mitigating our weaknesses. But when we focus on mitigating our weaknesses, we shoot ourselves in the foot in a way, because if you're a 4 at something, maybe you work really hard and get to be a 6, but you're never going to be a 10. Right? Instead, if you focus on your strengths, where you naturally lean, what you're great at, you can move them from a 7 to a 10 much easier than you can move a 2 to an 8. So he says, stop worrying about what you're not perfect at. Instead, focus on what you do better than others and lean into that. And that choice has catapulted my career. And so I want you all to check out at least the StrengthsFinder assessment, but I also would recommend that you read this book. Next, I want to talk to you about execution. And it sounds deadly, but it is not. It is by Ram Charan and Larry Bossidy. Both of these guys are CEOs from Fortune 100 companies, very experienced managers. And this book is all about how to get your people to execute better and what your responsibilities are as a leader and executive in making sure that the plans and the strategies that you design with operational implications in mind. So really good for people seeking to move from the supervisor level to the middle manager level, or from the middle manager to the exec level, in terms of raising the rigor of your thinking around the operational impact that your strategies have and how to make sure that they'll be successful. So the next book I want to talk to you about is Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi. And this is a book I love. I remember when I first bought this book, I was maybe 2 years or 3 years into my career. And I was thinking, man, how do I build a professional network? Now, Ferrazzi is a networker to the 10th power. He's way more intricate than probably you or I, my friend. But if you do 10% of the stuff he talks about here, you are going to far exceed your peers, others that you're working with, in terms of the strength of the professional network you have. And I read up on this book every now and then, but frankly, I need to get back to it, because every time I do, I raise my game a little bit. And so I'd recommend Never Eat Alone, with the caveat, I don't do everything he does. You don't need to do everything he does. If you even do 10%, it will make a difference. So the next author I want to talk about is my favorite woman author. She is so great. Her name is Patty Azzarello. This is her book, Move. The book I want to talk to you about, though, is not Move. It's Rise. And I've actually gifted that book fairly recently, so I don't have a new copy yet. But Rise is all about how do you move from the middle manager level to the executive level? What are the changes you need to make in how you work and how you present yourself and how you connect professionally in order to rise to that next level? I am also a big fan of her membership organization. I've been a member for, I want to say, 2 or 3 years, and she provides excellent monthly content. So can't recommend her highly enough. Not a paid endorsement, just really enjoy her and want her to be successful. So check out Rise, check out Move, which is more about strategy, and more importantly, just check out Patty Azzarello. Her blog's great. If you're looking to be an executive in the next 5-10 years, this is definitely worth a read. The next book I want to talk about is David Allen's Making It All Work. I actually also really like Getting Things Done, but this is a simpler version of that. And who David Allen is he's the father of a lot of these productivity systems that you see around. And he's just great at making them very practical and tactical. Now, he's intense in the sense that his productivity systems are incredibly intricate, time-consuming. His foldering system kind of spins my brain a little. But his concepts are really solid. And so when I read him, I don't read him to implement 100% of what he says. I know he says the results are better that way, but I just can't manage it. Instead, I take the concepts and then I apply them to my own organizational systems. So for example, one of his concepts is that your brain is a terrible place to store information. And because of that, if you have information in your brain, you're not going to stop thinking about it and focusing on new projects until it's captured someplace you trust. Those sorts of conceptual pieces are really important to think about as you build your own organizational system. All right, friends, that's it for me on International Book Lovers Day. I hope you've curled curled up with a book somewhere. And please do check us out at breaker28.com if you'd like even more tips on how to accelerate your career.